Hello again, everybody. This is Hazard Communication Awareness Training Part 2. We also refer to this as HazComm. This is annual awareness training. You get it every year. You should have viewed Part 1 already. This is Part 2 of the same subject. Please make sure that you pay attention, that you answer all the questions to the best of your ability. I am grading these now, so don't just answer a bunch of boxes. At the end, please make sure when you submit the form that you get a green pop-up box that says success, your form has been entered. If you don't get that, it's going to tell you to go back and review the form. Maybe you missed a question or something, but you need to make sure you get that green pop-up box to get credit for taking the exam. So as you can see here, there are 5 key elements to the Hazard Communication Standard. There's a written program, there's labeling, there's SDS. We talked about both of those in Part 1. Annual training, which we're doing now, and then we have a chemical inventory process. The chemical inventory process basically talks about how we handle, manage, and store our chemicals and what chemicals we have on site. Let's talk briefly about our written program. Our written program is in place to alert all employees that we do have chemicals in the plant. We want you to know how to recognize those chemicals, how to read the SDS, how to access the SDS, which we've talked about in Part 1, and what personal protective equipment is necessary to safely handle, store, and dispense chemicals. In 2012, in an effort to standardize all hazard communication worldwide, the globally harmonized system was developed. Basically, this means there are consistent hazard classifications, consistent standard labeling, consistent safety data sheets worldwide for chemicals. This is an attempt to make sure that everyone is getting all the same information and all the correct information. So if you are in our plant and you pull up a chemical and you get magically transported to France and you pull up a chemical, all the information is going to be the same on both chemicals. The verbiage, may be written in French, but all of the pictograms, all the important information that is on the SDS and the labels will all be the same. All right, there are 6 required sections that must be on all container labeling. There has to be the product identifier, which is the chemical name. There has to be a signal word. It might be danger or warning, something like that. There must be a pictogram. In the picture to the left, you see the skull and crossbones. That's a pictogram. There has to be a hazard statement. You can see that it says on the left, fatal if swallowed, causes skin irritation. There will be some type of hazard statement. All right. There will also be a precautionary statement. Once again, the picture to the left says wear protective gloves, wash hands thoroughly, do not eat, drink, or smoke when using this product. All right. There also must be the name, address, and phone number of the chemical manufacturer, the distributor, or the importer. All of these things must be on all labels on all chemicals. All right, here's some examples of some pictograms that you might find on labels or SDS. There's a health hazard. You can see that. It's got a picture of a torso with a star in it. There's flame, means it's flammable. Corrosive, you'll see that a lot in our plant. May cause burns or damage to skin. Skull and crossbones, this means it has acute toxicity. Don't taste it, swallow it. Gases under pressure, explosive. These are some ideas of examples, of what some pictograms are that you might find. All right, let's talk briefly about safety data sheets. There are 16 sections that may be found on a safety data sheet. However, 12 through 15 aren't always mandatory. They should be on there in the US, but there are rare occasions where you may not see all 16. 1 through 11 are mandatory. They are in order of importance. You can see here what each one is. I'll give you a minute or so to read through these, but all of these are important. This is where you go to find your information that you need to know about what PPE to wear, what first aid measures to wear, what first aid measures to follow, what cleanup measures if it's accidentally spilled. All of that information is on here. You need to know this information, especially how it can harm you and how you can protect yourself. All right. We keep a chemical inventory of all chemicals used or stored on site. That list is maintained by the SHE department. The quality lab does have an inventory of chemicals used within the lab, and all chemical inventory can be found online at msdsonline.com. Use Unilever SDS as the username and password. Make sure you select Independence as the location, and then enter your search criteria in the fields below, and you'll be able to pull it up. If you should have any questions accessing this or finding an SDS or any information you need on any chemical, make sure you get with your supervisor and have them clarify it for you. That ends Hazard Communication Part 2, and that is your annual Hazard Communication Awareness Training. Make sure you took Part 1 and Part 2. Please answer the questions to the best of your ability. Make sure that you submit the form and that you get the green success box. I really appreciate your time and attention. These are important subjects. We give them to you to make you safe, so it's important that you pay attention. Thanks again.